Hello everyone and welcome back to Sweet Magnolias. This channel is where I share everything relating to motherhood, marriage, and homemaking. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure that you're subscribed so you can be a part of this YouTube community. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you my third trimester recap or third trimester pregnancy update, if you will. I am 37 weeks pregnant. I'm due March the 14th with a baby girl. So coming anytime really between now and March 14th she could be born. So I wanted to go ahead and get this video up for you guys. So let's go ahead and get into this third trimester recap. So I had actually filmed this before and I was getting ready to have an ultrasound and I was basically telling you guys what the unknowns were with the ultrasound and why I was having the ultrasound, and then I didn't get this video up before I went to the ultrasound, so I just wanted to completely refilm it. But basically, as far as right now, the baby is in the correct birthing position. She is face down, head down. She's very, very low, and I can definitely tell that. They did confirm again that she is a girl, and so the ultrasound went really well. The reason that they wanted to do an ultrasound with me was because I was measuring a little bit ahead of where I should be, and so the doctor wanted to check her position and she wanted to check her fluid levels. Everything looked good, so we're all good there. So if I go back to the beginning of the third trimester, towards the end of my second trimester, before I was officially in the third trimester, I could start feeling more like the third trimester. And keep in mind with this pregnancy, I was only 6 months postpartum with my son when I got pregnant with my daughter. So my body is like, it was already really loose, like my muscles were already really loose and everything. And so the doctor told me, you're definitely going to be a lot more uncomfortable this time. You're going to be a lot more tired this time. You know, you're going to stretch a lot further this time and a lot easier. So when I got towards the end of my second trimester, I definitely started feeling that. I started having a lot more discomfort, a lot more trouble getting around, just a lot more soreness. Because my second trimester was pretty uneventful. Like, I got some energy back. I felt pretty good for the most part. As I got closer to the third trimester, I started feeling not as great. So third trimester has been harder than the rest of the pregnancy. My first trimester with this one, I was a little bit more sick than I was with my first pregnancy, but nothing too major, just feeling more nauseous, more tired, things like that. But second trimester was great. Third trimester has been a little bit rougher, and I'm going to go into that. The first thing I've noticed basically with this whole pregnancy is that I have been so much more emotional. And I was emotional with my first, but not much more than like the way you are when you're emotional on your period. It was about that level. Whereas this pregnancy, I have been so emotional, so like crying over the silliest, stupidest things, and then not being able to stop crying, and then just having a lot more anxiety and, you know, just random sadness and things like that. I've had a lot more, I don't want to say rage, but I get frustrated a lot easier, and I just get really upset really easy. So my emotions have been a roller coaster this whole pregnancy, but especially the third trimester, I think, because I've reached that point where I'm just like ready to have this baby. I'm just ready to have this baby. And so my emotions have been just up and down this whole pregnancy. And I mean, it's not a bad, it's a very normal thing for your emotions to be everywhere, but I've noticed definitely this pregnancy has been so much more emotional than my last pregnancy. Another thing with my third trimester has been that I have stretched out a lot further than I did with my son. I've got a couple of pictures that I had taken right at the end of his pregnancy, and I am bigger than I was with him now. You know, at the end of her pregnancy, I'm bigger than I was with him, and I've gotten a lot more new stretch marks. I did get stretch marks with my son. I did not get them until like the last 2 weeks because he was overdue. He was born at 41 weeks, and so I had done pretty good about not having stretch marks right up until the last couple weeks, and that was when I really did a lot of stretching and I got a lot of stretch marks. This time I've got a lot more stretch marks. My belly button is completely non-existent now. So it's just something that comes along with pregnancy, and I know that will fade with time, but my stomach just feels like it cannot possibly stretch any further. And I don't know how I'm supposed to stretch out for a few more weeks if she waits, because I feel gigantic and it feels like it's mostly all in my stomach. And that's what everybody tells me, is that I carry all in my stomach. But her bump is a little different than his. His I felt was like rounder, like more rounded. Hers is more to a point in the front, and you can probably see that in some of my videos. Like, it just feels more narrow towards the end. And I do think it's interesting, like, I don't think, as far as the wives' tales, I don't think there's anything to like boys carry certain ways or girls carry certain ways, because I've heard that boys carry low and high, and I've heard that girls carry low and high. I think it's more so, though, if you've had a boy and you've had a girl, you can tell a noticeable difference in how they carry. They don't carry one specific way, but there's definitely a difference. She has been higher, and the bump is just narrower at the point. Like, it's just different. So a couple of things that I have had as far as symptoms and things like that in my 3rd trimester that I did not have in my last pregnancy is that I have had some like rib pain and lung pain, and that's another difference in the way that they have carried. Is my son was never in my ribs. I never really felt that where you can't breathe, kind of like you got your wind knocked out of you. I don't remember feeling that really with him. He was more so really, really low. But with her, this whole 3rd trimester, she has been way up here, like right under my rib cage, like right here. And the doctor said that she's like, where she was measuring a little bit ahead, she said, you know, whereas my last pregnancy, my uterus wasn't all the way up to my rib cage until like the last couple of weeks. And with her, she's been sitting like that for a few weeks now, and I'm only 37 weeks. So she was right up under there, and she would like, it honestly felt like she was kind of laying on my lung sometimes, especially if I was trying to lay down at night. Like, it would feel like she was laying right on my lung, and it felt exactly like I had gotten the wind kicked out of me or punched out of me and couldn't breathe that well. And then too, just that achiness right there under the rib cage. And so I had talked to the doctor about it, and she's like, yeah, she's like, she's all the way up, and she's like, where your rib cage used to be like this, it's now doing this. So that's something I did not have with my last pregnancy, and I was kind of worried about it for a little while, to be honest. I was like, I can't breathe. Why can't I breathe? And probably something I should not have done while being pregnant is started watching like a medical drama show, and like there's so many pregnant women on those shows, and there's like all these problems that are wrong with them, and I probably should not have done that while I'm pregnant, because I was like, what if I can't, like, what if something's wrong and I can't breathe? So that was something that was new to me that I did not have in my last pregnancy. That, and also I have had some 3rd trimester nausea. Nothing too crazy, nothing like the 1st trimester, but here in the last few weeks I have felt almost like I'm back in the 1st trimester, in that the list of foods that I want to eat is kind of narrow, and if I make something and I don't want it, I don't eat it. Like, I made chicken salad for us the other night, and like, I didn't even want it. I didn't touch it. I ate french fries, and I let Brennan have the chicken salad because I didn't want it. And then some of that nausea, that gross, yucky feeling has been coming back as well. Sometimes, mostly it's in the evening, and I think it's probably where I'm really tired and all of that, but I've had a little bit of that yucky nausea feeling from the 1st trimester here in the 3rd trimester. So the last little thing I'm going to talk about before I talk about our like preparation and things like that is just my mobility. My mobility has gone way down, and something else interesting about the way she's carrying is I feel like where my stomach with my son, I feel like it was more of a circle. With her, it feels more like an oval, like an egg shape, like goes down really far. And so bending over, like if I'm sitting down, I cannot bend over to reach something. It is physically impossible. I cannot do it. I tried the other day. I dropped something and tried to just bend over and get it while I was sitting, and it is absolutely physically impossible. So my mobility has gone down a lot. I cannot move as fast. I cannot move as agile as I once could. And then just too, like when I move, I feel a lot of like pressure in my pelvic area, and it's just because she's in that birth position. So, you know, sometimes it really feels like she's bearing down. I have felt like that a lot today in trying to do like some cleaning and stuff. I felt like she's bearing down on my pelvis, and I assume it's just where she's in birth position, because I haven't had like any labor contractions. I have had Braxton Hicks, and I have been having some more frequent Braxton Hicks where your belly gets really tight at the top and you get like an uncomfortable, can't breathe kind of feeling. I did not know that was a Braxton Hick. I didn't have very many of those with my son, and so the few that I had felt more like period cramps. But with her, it just feels like a tightening, and it's like I can't catch my breath, and it's very uncomfortable, and then it goes away. So, you know, I've had some Braxton Hicks, so I'm hopeful that that means that she is, you know, like the labor, not labor, but the everything is progressing the way that it should. I go back to the doctor on Tuesday, and I'm going to get them to check me. They've been asking me if I wanted them to check me, and I just keep telling them no, but I'm going to get them to check me this coming Tuesday to see if I've had any progression or anything like that, because I am feeling so much pressure. But because of the pressure, because of how big the bump is, my mobility is not what it used to be. So chasing a 1-year-old around is very, very interesting. Sometimes I cannot get to him before he dumps something in the floor because I just can't move that quick. But we are ready for her arrival. We have gotten everything that we needed in order to bring this baby home. We have been so blessed by family and friends with gifts and diapers and wipes and clothes and all of the things. So I have washed all the baby clothes. I have stored away all the diapers. I've packed my bag, Reese's bag, Kate's bag for his grandparents' house when we have to go to the hospital, and Brennan's bag. I have everything together. All the stuff is in the van and ready to go for whenever she decides to make her arrival. I've registered at the hospital. I've done all the things. So everything is ready, which is probably why I feel a little bit impatient, and I'm like, okay, you can come now, you can come now. But I'm pretty sure that my due date is a little bit earlier than it's supposed to be. So who knows? I have mentioned on here that I don't want to be induced, and I'm going to try my best to not be induced unless it's something that is, you know, unless they see something and they're like, okay, the baby needs to come and they want to induce me. But really, if it's safe for me to carry her, then I don't really want to be induced. We'll see how I feel when that time comes, but I really don't want to be induced because I was induced last time, and I really, really, really want to experience what it's like to actually go into labor, because I didn't get that last time. And also I feel like the induced contractions are worse. You don't get to start out slow and then build up, you just go. And so I want a different experience this time. I really don't want to be induced. So I'm hoping that she will come sometime within the next few weeks, but like I said, we've got everything ready for her. Everything is ready to go. I have moved a bunch of her stuff in our room because she will be in our room for probably the first 5 to 6 months, because when we transition her, she needs to be sleeping basically through the night because her and Kate are going to share a room. So I took my vanity and I have cleaned out some drawers in my vanity, put her clothes in there. I've got her headband set up on my vanity. I've got a diaper station in there. Her co-sleeper and her Moses basket is in there. So everything is ready. We're just waiting on the baby. Okay, so that is going to wrap up this 3rd trimester recap pregnancy update. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it was helpful to you if you are pregnant or planning on becoming pregnant sometime soon. If you are pregnant, leave down in the comments down below how many weeks you are. I would love to know. And I am going to hopefully get up another video sometime before she's born. I would love to film one last vlog if I'm able to do that, if I don't run out of time before she comes. I want to do one last vlog with Cade in it, and he's not here today, so I couldn't do that today. But thank you guys for being patient and gentle with me during this time. Like I said, my third trimester has been a little bit of a challenge, especially with being so pregnant and chasing a little one around. I'm having trouble staying on top of everything. And so I know that once we find our groove after she's born, I'll be able to focus a little bit more on it, and I really want to be more intentional about posting more consistent content. My favorite videos I've ever done were the videos that I did back when my son was like from a newborn to like 5 months old. Those are my favorite videos, my favorite vlogs. I love to look back on those, and I want to look back on videos with him and her as well. So I definitely plan to post more content this year. It's just at this moment, at this time where I'm so pregnant, it's been a little bit of a challenge. But thank you so much for sticking around. If you are interested in seeing more content from me aside from videos, like day-to-day stuff, posts during the week, things like that, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. I always leave my handle down below. But thank you guys for being patient and bearing with me, and I just appreciate you guys so much. Please make sure that you leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure that you're subscribed for future videos, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.